Hello everybody, I'm Pooja Vasudev from Campus Technology, a company of Times of India Group. And in today's video, I would like to talk about our examination module. I would also like to talk about how we are different from other companies who are probably offering a similar kind of service. Number one, when we decided to design an examination module, again, we have taken feedbacks from students, from different teachers, institutions, not just from a particular state but from different parts of the country. And the feedback that we have gotten is that when they design question papers, most of the time it is focused on a few skills like maybe remembering, and the kind of questions that are asked in majority of the question papers or in different exams or different platforms that offer these examination service is purely based on very few skills: remembering, recalling, and there are other skills that are required for the students to focus on. For example, in our platform, what we have done, we have considered something called Bloom's taxonomy, which is basically like a competency based assessment. In Bloom's taxonomy, what happens? There is focus on six different kinds of skills, which is like remembering, and there is understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Now, each of this is very, very important for a student. All of these are necessary for them to understand a topic or a concept really well. Just remembering or recalling only focuses on one particular aspect of the Bloom's taxonomy level, but there are other levels that actually need focus on. And the question paper right now are only concentrating on few very known categories, like I said, remembering or recalling, and the different categories like analyzing or applying is lesser focused on. So that is what we wanted to change. We wanted to include questions that covers all the categories for all the topics. That I think will make the student understand the concept better and probably use it later on in their life. What happens is, once they finish a particular class or a standard, it is very unlikely that they might use the concept in their real life, because when they are learning the concept, sometimes the practical application or the usage of the concept in real life are seldom known. So that is what we wanted to change. So we have built this entire platform, examination platform, focusing on all of these levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Now, in our effort to establish this effective and meaningful assessments, what we are trying to do is we are trying to align our assessment strategy with competency based modules, like I said, for Bloom's taxonomy. I think this approach will ensure that our assessment are not only kind of standardized, but it will also provide like an accurate measurement of the learners understanding of the concept across various levels and knowledge. I think that is very important for every student and also for a teacher when it comes to taking feedback from the students. Now, how are we different? Like I said, we have completely designed this platform for competency based, other than your traditional, which is often limited to lower levels of Bloom's taxonomy, like I mentioned, which is remembering or understanding. Now, let me give you a few examples for each of these levels. Remembering, like all of you are already learning, or all of you are taking exams. This is one of the basic levels in Bloom's taxonomy. This simply refers to something that a student has to recall or recognize. It could be in terms of facts or it could be in terms of concepts. This is simply remembering what they learn, and they have to remember and they'll have to write it in the examination. So that's your remembering level. Then we have understanding. Now, these activities will encourage students to process. They will ask them to interpret certain concepts and then relate certain information. This is understanding. And then we also have something called applying. Now, these questions or these activities completely emphasize on knowledge, using concepts. You'll have to use certain procedures to solve certain problems and complete certain tasks, and you'll have to sometimes make informed decisions depending on the scenario. Now let me also give you an example. Let's say a car accelerates from from rest to 60 kilometers per hour. Calculate the car's acceleration. Now this is also something where you'll have to understand the concept and apply it. Now this is a classic example. We also have, let's say you're performing an examination or a experiment in a lab. Students perform titration. Now this is to determine the concentration of an unknown acidic solution. You'll have to neutralize it. Now you'll have to actually do the experiment. This is also something that refers to applying. You'll have to understand a concept and later apply it in an experiment. This is also very important. Now the third category or the third level that I want to talk about is analyzing. Now these activities generally encourage students to analyze certain information. They'll have to identify relationships, sometimes understand or assess an underlying message, evaluate. This is a very broad category again. Now let me give you an example. A classic example is a case study. Identify the key elements or some elements in an ecosystem, determine how each supports the system as a whole. Now this is an entire case study. Student needs to understand, they need to know the concept, analyze and come up with the explanation in the case study. This is a classic example for analyzing. Then we have evaluating. These activities generally encourage students to judge. Sometimes they'll have to critique and they'll have to take certain decisions. For example, evaluate the effectiveness of different economic policies or poverty reduction, job creation. These are all evaluating. So they'll have to think about the particular topic and then come to a conclusion or come to a decision. This is called evaluating. And then we also have creating. This is a very interesting level. These activities are focused more on the creative aspect of the student, like designing, generating, or to produce something, like creating a survey. Collect the data, analyze it, and create a survey. This is a very good example for creating. Now, each of our question papers or each of our content is completely focusing on each of these levels, making it very different for students. And if they take up our exams, I'm pretty sure, for that particular concept, they will kind of know everything possible, from understanding, remembering, creating, analyzing, and even applying it to probably real life if possible. All of that is taken care of while we have generated or these generated these question papers or created these question paper, and that was our main objective here. Now, keeping this in mind, what I urge the institutions or the teachers to do is use the platform. Please go through the topics, go through the question papers. We are all ears for any kind of feedback that you might have. And it is very easy for the students since most of it is online. They could use it from their phone, they could use it in their computers, take up these practice tests, take up these examinations, and then see how they're performing when it comes to understanding a particular topic. We do have question papers for each topic, different topics. We also have like a cumulative assessment that they can take probably mid semester or at the end of the session before their actual examination, to understand where they stand, and that's about what I wanted to say about examination. In case of any feedback, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you so much.